Afternoon, everybody. We had a tough game. Didn't get the outcome we wanted. One thing I was looking for throughout the course of the game was our players' ability to continue to play hard, no matter what the scoreboard said. I did think they did a good job of that. And even though we gave up some plays and didn't execute and play as well as what we needed to, I think the guys did continue to play hard and gave a great effort, which that's going to be necessary, not in just that game, but every game. So they really stuck with it. Didn't play as well as we need to, but they definitely continued to play hard for 4 quarters. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Jay, how big of a challenge is that? The players have to, hear this stuff on the outside and know it's been 6 straight losses and know that things, kind of get out of hand, by halftime for several of these games. How difficult is it to have them continue to give that effort? And what do you guys maybe do as coaches to try to keep that hold on them?
Well, I think it's a one play at a time mentality. You can't pay attention to the scoreboard. I know everybody does, but if you let that dictate your quality of play and how hard you play, then you're always going to be a peak and valley defense, in this case, or team. So, we just have to stay the course and realize that, irregardless of what the scoreboard says, we've got a job to do, and our job is to go out and try to get the offense that we're competing against off the field and get the ball back to our own offense, and we just got to keep that task first and foremost at hand, and hopefully that's a mentality they keep throughout the course of the game. So, and I thought they did a good job of that Saturday.
Chris just said that he's been in more defensive meetings. He said he did some play calling on Saturday. Is that an indictment on the defense that the head coach has taken more of a role in play calling and sitting in meetings and things like that?
As you guys probably know, he's always been involved in defense. To the extent that he's just that's his expertise, and that's where he spends a lot of his time. So I'm sure that's no surprise to any of you. And if I was in his shoes and we had some of the defensive problems that we've been having, I would certainly get involved to whatever extent I felt was necessary. So I think more what he said, I'm not sure, but an effort to try to streamline and make sure we got clear communication. That all the players and coaches thoroughly understand their jobs, their assignments, their responsibilities, that there are no gaps in that communication, in that process, and by being in some of the meetings and being more involved, hopefully it did just that. Obviously, we still wish we had not given up some of the plays that we did on Saturday, but again, to your point, I certainly think if I was in his shoes, I would have done exactly what he did. With regards to calling the plays and things like that, he's always has had veto power. Sometimes he's going to change a call, sometimes he's not. It's just going to be dependent on whether he's comfortable with what I've called, and certainly that's head coach prerogative, and that's how we've always operated, and perfectly understandable.
Does that kind of change the dynamic during the week with preparation, with him now being more involved in that regard? Not
really. Everything's been business as usual as far as that goes, with the exception of the meeting format that we've gone to. So, no, I mean, everything else has been just the same as it's always been. We just put a little bit different wrinkle into it, again, trying to minimize whatever possibilities there might be for any communication gaps between assistant coaches and players, or coordinators and coaches and players, that sort of thing. So other than that, it's been all the same.
Was it tough to, for the first time in a while, start strong and get him off the field a couple of times? You guys are defending the run really well, and then he seemed like Johnson kind of popped that big one, and obviously you have the double possession with the kickoff. I mean, did you feel that was sort of maybe where you guys kind of lost your way? You had to go right back out there?
Well, the long run, as you said, I think if I remember right, looking at the video yesterday after the game, I think it was like the 18th or 19th play of the game that happened. And as you said, up until then, we had really been playing solid defense. So, that definitely is something that, you have to rebound from and just be able to get back out there and get ready to go again. So, yeah, I mean, that's a challenge, but it goes back to the very initial point of this, this conversation that we've been having is, you got to be able to clear the mechanism, so to speak, and wipe the slate clean and go back out there and not let the scoreboard dictate how you play. So, but definitely that was a play we wish we hadn't given up.
Coach, you have some veteran linebackers this year. Have you been disappointed with their play? Kind of how would you assess that?
It's kind of reflective of our whole defense. Inconsistent at times. Sometimes you know, you turn the film on and there's lots of plays you like, but then there's always a handful that you don't. I suppose that's probably true almost any time you evaluate a 75 or 80 play football game. It just seems as though whenever we have a breakdown, for whatever reason, it's right at the point of attack. Instead of maybe a 15 or 20 yard run being just that, it turns into a 65 yarder, and we've just got to figure out a way how to get that stopped. Okay, thank you.